What do you see when someone mentions Nepal? The shimmering photographs of the snow-covered Himalayas? The gentle smiles beside wooden houses scented with kitchen smoke? Or a land wrapped in legend, where people believe that by touching a sacred river, all suffering finds its way home? That is Nepal in imagination. But today, we step into the Nepal of reality, a mosaic of dust, ritual, human warmth, and moral questions without simple answers. Beneath the ice spears piercing the sky, Kathmandu breathes in short gasps. Here, people learn to read the sky not only to predict the weather, but to know when to drive, or whether their child should go to school. Here too, beside ancient temple roofs, funeral rites unfold openly and calmly. The fire releases fragrant smoke, ashes return to the river, and that same river flows through a crowded city where waste, sewage, and dreams merge into one. You may call it contradiction. The Nepalese call it an honest cycle of birth and decay. We will not paint Nepal only in the color of suffering, nor solely in the hue of the sacred. We will enter the unspeakable truths. Why some communities accept lineage marriages to preserve land and livestock. Why some women are still sent outside their homes during the very days they most need care. Why young men holding hands on the street is seen as an innocent gesture of friendship, while an embrace between a man and a woman draws turned gazes. We will meet the living goddess, Kumari, the child who appears with clockwork faith, bestows blessings, and retreats behind a silent window. We will dine at a wedding serving 84 dishes, then board a bus painted in every color like a moving temple. And if you are brave enough, we will land on a runway so short and steep your heartbeat counts the seconds. For that is the key to the roof of the world. But why call Nepal the polluted hell beneath the Himalayas? Not to shock you, but to be honest, when a city expands faster than its infrastructure, when faith and livelihood both burden a single river, when tourism survives on clean images while residents breathe unclean air, even a sacred land must be seen with clear eyes. The hell here holds no demons, only very human consequences. The fragile line between traditions worth honoring and habits needing change, between cultural pride and civic responsibility. This journey does not seek to judge. It is an invitation to observe more closely, to question more deeply, and to give Nepal, as well as ourselves, a chance to grow. Because behind every layer of dust remain hard-working hands, communities that protect one another, Sherpas carrying the sky on their shoulders, and a nation still experimenting with reconciling its past and present. If you are ready, we begin by the riverbank, where people learn how to say farewell and how to live on. Number 2. By the banks of the Bagmati, the farewell ritual and the mirror of a city. Stand still for a moment on the stone steps leading down to the Bagmati River. The scent of burning wood mingles with the cold morning wind. The rhythmic chanting of prayers, the faint chime of metal bells, the splash of water against mossy embankments, all blend into a solemn hum. On the cremation pyre, a family gathers in a circle. There are no wails. Every gesture is slow, deliberate, as if grief itself has been taught to walk in rhythm. The eldest son lights the fire. The flame begins from the head, as custom dictates. A few meters away, a pilgrim buys a bag of snacks. Children chase one another. A tourist lifts a camera. To an outsider, the scene may seem bewildering. To the people of Kathmandu, it is the familiar order of life. Between life and death stands no sealed wall, only a riverbank. The public cremation ritual is not meant to display sorrow. It is an ancient form of emotional education. When death is not hidden behind a cold door, the living learn to face impermanence with calm. The fire does not merely consume the body, it releases a knot. Ashes return to water, water returns to flow, flow returns to the fields downstream. In that spiritual logic, death is a quiet transference, not a tear in the fabric. And so, the laughter or conversations that ripple through the ceremony are not necessarily disrespectful. Many families recall fond memories of the departed right there by the river, as a final way to keep them present through words. But the river, too, is a living body, and that body is tired. The city has grown fast, with neighborhoods spilling to the water's edge. When it rains heavily, drains overflow. When drought lingers, odors thicken. People often blame the careless crowd, while environmental engineers point to the diagrams. Wastewater treatment capacity lags behind population growth. Waste sorting at the source has yet to become habit. Riverbeds stir up sludge during monsoon floods. Open drains turn the river into an exposed pipeline. Both narratives, civic morality and infrastructural ethics, are partly right, and only when joined together can they reveal the full picture. Walk along the stretch of river by the temple, and you can count many layers of meaning stacked atop one another. The first layer is faith. Water as both purifier and final destination. The second is economy. Vendors, florists, photographers, boatmen, livelihood sprouting around a ritual. The third is governance. Who cleans the embankment? Who runs the collection system? Who pays for public services? When these layers slide against each other, friction arises. One side seeks to preserve tradition. The other urges behavioral change. One calls for state resources, the other demands personal responsibility. The truth is, the city needs both. Reverence for symbols and reform of systems. Some ask, why not move cremations into enclosed funeral halls using modern furnaces? The answer is not simple. Public rituals are also a form of communal care. The poor are not excluded from a civilized service. Families are warmed by the presence of neighbors, friends, even strangers. Moreover, Kathmandu's beauty lies in its openness. The sacred happens in plain sight, for all to witness and learn from. Yet between beauty and sustainability lies a slope that must be bridged. That bridge can begin with very small steps: separate bathing areas, hand-washing stations, hygienic ash channels, guided waste bins, scheduled dredging of sludge. All less romantic than myths, yet precisely the foundations myths need in order to endure. Observe the quiet laborers along the riverbank, the dawn cleanup crew, the mud collectors, the flower gatherers, the stone scrubbers. They rarely appear on postcards, but their names belong to the sustainability roster of a civilized city. Every tied garbage bag, every correctly routed sludge truck is a moral act no less than a prayer. In modern society, morality has expanded beyond the individual. It is the collective capacity to keep systems just and functional for the vulnerable. Because those first affected by pollution are not the passing tourists, but the street vendors by the bank, the child growing up with small lungs, the elder breathing close to the water every morning. As the late sun slants across the temple roofs, the river softens in the eyes of distant visitors. Beauty has its own defense. One glint of light on water is enough for people to forget the drain behind it. But the duty of a documentary is not to lull. Our task is to place two frames side by side. The frame of faith, flames, garlands, chants, and the frame of systems, pipes, pumps, maintenance logs. When those two frames learn to understand each other, the city will master a rare skill, preserving cultural essence while upgrading quality of life. There is no inherent conflict between the sacred and the scientific, only a gap of knowledge and conversation. In conversations with locals, you will hear mature reflections. We want the river clean, but we also want to keep our rituals. We don't want to push the poor away from the banks. We want them to have better choices. We don't want tourism to see only beauty. We want them to understand why beauty endures. The phrase, "to endure," here is vital. A culture does not survive by being bottled for display. It survives by renegotiating with reality every day. To endure, even when heavy rains muddy the water, even when dry season thickens the stench, even as streets grow denser and new bridges rise. To endure, by adding one more trash bin, one more guiding sign, one more sanitation worker with proper protection. Before leaving the riverbank, look once more. You will see something profoundly Nepali. A sun lighting incense, a mother resting her hand on her grandchild's shoulder, a monk nodding gently, a tourist quietly lowering the camera. Many worlds stand side by side without overpowering one another. That is the fundamental courtesy of this place, to make room for what one doesn't yet understand, and to learn it through patience, not haste. Kathmandu teaches us this, and Bagmati, though weary, remains patient just the same. From this river bend, our journey will follow the narrow alleys into the heart of the home. Public courtesies, discreet affections, marriages bound to land and season, and young goddesses watching the world through window frames. Each alley opens to its own sky, and when joined together, they form the horizon of Nepal, uneven but enduring. Number 3. Marriages of survival and the bond between land and people. If you leave the Bagmati temple area and travel a few dozen kilometers westward, the road narrows and tilts. Low houses flicker behind rows of corn. Buffalo wade leisurely through streams. And there, in the cloud-hung valleys, marriage is not merely a story of love. It is an equation of survival. In the mountain villages of Nepal, a family may have several wives, or conversely, a woman may share one husband with her sisters. Outsiders call it polygamy, polyandry, or strange marriage. But to locals, it is a logical structure of endurance. When farmland is scarce, when winters are long and manpower limited, multiple hands working, sharing property, and raising children together becomes the way to keep the community from dissolving. Each family member knows their role. One keeps the hearth, another herds the cattle, another tills the field. No one owns anyone. They all belong to the same piece of land. A man in Dolpa once told me, "If I had only one wife, I'd have had to abandon the land to find work. But now the three of us live together, share the labor, the children have care, and the cattle have guidance." At first it may sound pragmatic, even dry, but within it lies a simple philosophy. Affection and duty are not separate paths. Here, they walk side by side. The custom of lineage marriage, when a younger brother marries his widowed sister-in-law, is similar. It does not stem from coercion, but from the need to keep property and land within the family. The woman need not bear loneliness. The child does not face a strange stepfather, and the field is not sold off to divide inheritance. Life continues quietly, like water through the valley, unbroken, unhurried. Yet behind these customs lie paradoxes. While they preserve the structure of community, they also narrow the boundaries of individual freedom. Some women smile in acceptance, but others endure in silence. Some marriages are decided by entire clans, not hearts. And that is the dilemma of modern Nepal: how to respect tradition while allowing people to choose their own paths. In the cities, the younger generation has begun to question. They study at universities, work in tourism, use social media, and are exposed to global values. To them, Love should be a matter of freedom, not destiny. But when they return home, they face their elders, grandparents and parents who see marriage as part of social order, not personal emotion. And so, two value systems meet, sometimes like two rivers flowing in opposite directions. Young Nepalis are slowly rewriting the idea of family. They hold smaller weddings, with no extravagant dowries or week-long feasts. Some choose to remain single, others marry across religions. A young law student in Kathmandu once told me, "I don't reject tradition. I just want the right to say yes or no." The words sound light, but they carry the first winds of change. Looking back, one sees a strange symmetry between Nepal and its nature. Each season gives birth to a habit. Each habit sustains a way of life. In the mountains, where winter can last half a year, marriage is a survival strategy. In the fertile plains, weddings become celebrations of abundance. Gold around the bride's neck, buffalo paraded in the yard, grains overflowing in brass pots. Each offering is a wish for longevity, not only for two individuals, but for the entire village. But can tradition withstand the rising tides of urbanization and globalization along the Bagmati's course? As young couples move to cities, as farmers' daughters become tour guides, as social media reveals worlds where marriage is not mandatory, will these rituals fade? The answer perhaps lies in how Nepal understands change, not as erasure, but adaptation. Like the Himalayas, seemingly unmoving, yet shifting a few millimeters each year, Nepal's traditions evolve just enough to bend without breaking, to move without dying. What is remarkable is that, whether in the city or the highlands, the wedding remains the heart of every life cycle. It is when the community gathers, when hospitality shines, when folk art finds its stage. The Damaha drums thunder, the Saranai pipes wail, and the dances stretch through the night. There, farmers, craftsmen, mountaineers, and monks all return to the same rhythm. Amid the chaos of the modern world, they still find reasons to feast, to sing, to remind one another, we are still here. If Nepal teaches us anything through these marriages, it is this: human beings are bound not only to one another, but to the land, the seasons, the lunar calendar, and collective memory. A wedding is not merely an event between two individuals. It is a ritual of an agricultural civilization surviving amid snow-capped peaks. And when the lights fade, one still hears the distant call of buffalo, the rush of a stream, the laughter of children around the fire. Marriage, whether polyandrous or monogamous, remains a symbol of faith that we will not be alone. In a world increasingly demanding self-reliance, Nepal reminds us, there are still places where strength lies in we, not just I. Number 4. Women between two worlds. Tradition and the desire for freedom. When dawn draws mist down the western valleys of Nepal, a familiar scene appears. Women carrying water, washing clothes by the stream, voices mingling with birdsong and smiles, the serene kind worn by those long accustomed to hardship. They are the silent pillars of villages, fields, and families. Yet these same women live between two worlds, one of ancient faith and another slowly awakening to the ideas of rights, freedom, and equality. In daily life, Nepali women share a special relationship with nature. They bathe outdoors, wash their hair in rivers, dry it in the wind. Not because of poverty, but because it has become a rhythm of life. From childhood, girls learn to blend with the earth and sky, treating nature as their closest companion. In that setting, they appear both strong and gentle, their skin sun-tanned, their hands calloused, their eyes kind, their voices carrying the grounded cadence of those who live with the wind. Yet beneath this rustic beauty lies a reality that makes the world pause. The practice of chaupadi, a custom forcing women to leave their homes during menstruation, deemed impure. Although Nepal's Supreme Court officially banned the practice in 2015, it persists in remote mountain regions where traditional belief outweighs law. In small huts built outside villages, women sleep alone, forbidden to touch family members, water, plants, or animals. Many have died from cold, from snake bites, or simply from loneliness in the night. It's easy to respond with outrage when faced with such practices. But to understand, one must take a step back. Chaupadi is not only oppression, it is the inheritance of an agrarian society where purity was tied to the agricultural cycle. Centuries ago, people believed that blood, even as a symbol of fertility, could anger deities if it appeared in sacred spaces. When such beliefs are not redefined through modern understanding, they become chains. And today, Nepal's younger generation is unfastening those chains, not with hammers, but with the patience of education, dialogue, and inner reform. Women's groups in Akkam, Kailali, and Bajura have begun holding community talks, inviting men to join. They do not call these women's liberation campaigns, but public health programs. They teach hygiene, body care, and, most importantly, how to engage tradition without insulting it. One 60-year-old woman, once a keeper of chaupadi huts, said, "I used to believe I was helping the gods keep our village safe. Now I think the gods may be happier if women sleep inside." The words are simple, but within them lies a quiet revolution. However, the Nepali woman's journey is not only a struggle against custom. She also faces another paradox. While constrained by social norms, she is often the main economic pillar. When men climb mountains as porters, laborers, or migrate to India, for work, women stay behind, farming, raising children, managing the entire household. They calculate, distribute labor, handle finances. They are at once homemakers and small-scale managers. And strangely, though the burden is heavy, they see it as natural, for tradition has taught them. A woman keeps the fire, and the fire must not go out. In the cities, the story shifts. Kathmandu's women wear shirts, earphones, and work in tech firms or hotels. They own phones, bank accounts, and friendships abroad. Yet when they return home for festivals, they wear saris, bow at thresholds, and pour water for the family altar. In their eyes, there is no conflict, only transformation. They do not abandon their roots. They simply breathe differently within the same space. An anthropologist once observed, "Nepal is a place where modernization does not arrive by destruction, but by absorption." Nepali women are living proof of that. They do not seek loud revolutions. They are quietly reshaping the world through small acts, teaching sons to wash dishes, teaching daughters to speak their minds, learning to read, saving money, running for local councils. Each act is a rung on a ladder, slow but unshakable. If you ask, what makes Nepali women unique? The answer lies in their eyes. They are eyes that have seen both suffering and hope. They know how to endure, but also how to reclaim. They believe in karma, but do not wait for miracles. They do not need to be rescued. They need to be heard. When night falls, beside glowing embers, they tell stories of harvest seasons, of rivers, of promises from distant husbands. In those stories lies the quiet power of Nepalese culture, the strength of women who silently keep the world turning while carrying rare compassion in their hearts. It is a compassion born of understanding that no one is perfect, not even themselves, but everyone can become better, little by little. By the end of this journey, you will realize Nepal is not only home to the world's highest mountains, It is also home to women whose spirits rise just as high. They need no monuments to honor them. Their steady existence, between tradition and freedom, is itself a monument to humanity. Number 5. The living goddess among mortals, the story of Kumari and the belief in purity. In the heart of ancient Kathmandu stands a window of intricately carved wood. Every day, at precisely 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., the window opens and a small face appears. Large eyes, red lips, a vermilion mark centered on a white powdered forehead. The crowd below falls silent. Some join their palms, others weep quietly. They call her Kumari, meaning the pure maiden, known throughout Nepal as the living goddess. The tradition of selecting a Kumari has existed for centuries, and though it sounds mystical, it follows an exacting ritual. Each Kumari is a girl between 3 and 6 years old, chosen from hundreds of candidates within the Newar lineage, the ancient people who have lived around Kathmandu for generations. It is said the chosen girl must embody 32 physical and spiritual perfections, from the shape of her face, voice, and complexion, to her ability to show no fear during the tests of divinity, walking past the severed head of a sacrificial buffalo, sitting alone in darkness, and witnessing blood without shedding tears. Only when she passes all these trials is she believed to be the earthly manifestation of Talehu, the guardian goddess of Kathmandu. From the moment of her selection, the Kumari ceases to be an ordinary child. She lives in the Kumari Gar, an ancient temple house at Durbar Square. Every day, devotees come to offer prayers, flowers, and fruit, waiting for the brief moment when the goddess appears at the window. That glimpse, they believe, brings blessings. She is not allowed outside except during state ceremonies and must never bleed, for blood is seen as the end of divine purity. Should she be injured or reach puberty, she is released from divinity, returning to mortal life, while a new Kumari is chosen. At first glance, this may seem cruel. A child isolated from the world, burdened with a destiny she never chose. Yet, if you stay long enough in Nepal, you will realize the story of Kumari is not merely a legend, but a mirror reflecting the soul of a nation. In the West, gods dwell far away, among clouds, in marble statues, or in sacred texts. In Nepal, divinity is humanized, embodied in a living child who smiles, tires, and wonders. The goddess does not reign from heaven, but from a wooden window in the middle of a bustling city. And people come not only to seek blessings, but to feel reconnected to something sacred amid a world that moves too fast, too loud, and too forgetful. Yet beneath the sanctity lies a deeply human question. What happens to a goddess when she becomes a girl again? Many former Kumaris recall that the day they left the temple was the day they had to relearn how to walk, speak, and step into a street they had only ever observed through carved frames. Some felt hollow, others lost, facing a world that once worshipped them, but now passed by. A few took years to reintegrate. Others chose a life of quiet seclusion. Though the government now provides education and financial support for ex-Kumaris, debates around child rights and the ethics of worship persist among sociologists and reformists. Still, to judge this tradition solely through modern lenses would be incomplete. For many Nepalis, Kumari is the living symbol of a belief that beauty and purity still exist amidst human imperfection. In a world scarred by greed and violence, they need an image to remind them that innocence can still be preserved. An elderly monk at the Taleju temple once said, "Westerners build churches to keep their god in stone. We keep our goddess in the heart of a child." It is a simple yet profound philosophy. When faith takes human form, it becomes both more intimate and more fragile. That very fragility is what makes Nepal extraordinary. Here, religion is not confined to scriptures, but woven into the rhythm of life, into the eyes of people who pause to fold their hands in the middle of a crowded street. Today, some human rights groups advocate reforming the Kumari tradition, allowing the girls to attend regular school, receive medical care, and play with friends their age. Encouragingly, Nepal's authorities have begun to listen. In recent years, laughter has begun to echo through the quiet rooms of the Kumari Gar once again. The goddess, though still revered, has also been allowed to be a child. When you look up at that wooden window, you realize the story of Kumari is not a fairy tale. It is a metaphor for how Nepal seeks balance between the sacred and the human. People may endlessly debate whether the ritual is right or wrong, but no one denies its power. To make an entire nation pause for a few silent minutes each day, to bow, to breathe, to remember that the sacred is never far away. And perhaps that is why, amid the dust and noise of the city, thousands still gather beneath that window. Because sometimes, it takes only one child opening a window for the whole world to fall silent. And in that moment, we remember how deeply we once believed in what is pure and good. And Number 6. When what's right seems upside down, the social codes that defy Western logic. If you set foot in Nepal for the first time, you might soon find yourself puzzled. A young man and woman walking together but keeping a noticeable distance, while two men stroll hand in hand, laughing and chatting in the busy street. A public hug between a man and a woman may draw blushing stares, yet two men sitting close, even resting a head on a shoulder, raises no eyebrows at all. Here, the idea of intimacy carries an entirely different meaning. For Nepalis, physical affection between opposite sexes is considered private, while emotional closeness between same-sex friends can be expressed through touch. There is no sexual implication, no stigma of gender deviation, only a natural gesture of trust. They call it Sati Bhavana, the spirit of friendship. This reflects a deeper layer of Himalayan culture. People are taught to restrain emotion in relationships considered flammable while being open in those deemed pure. A smile, a handshake, or a clasped hand between men symbolizes balance, not desire. I remember the first time I saw two Nepali young men holding hands while crossing a street in Kathmandu. A Western tourist beside me chuckled softly, assuming they were a couple. Our local guide smiled and said, "No, they're brothers, on their way to the temple." There was no defensiveness in his voice, only mild surprise, as if it were the foreigner's reaction, not their action, that was strange. This strangeness extends far beyond gender. It lies in how Nepal understands the line between the individual and the community. In the West, people value privacy, my space, my boundary. But in Nepal, life is so interwoven that few truly live apart. The personal realm is not a wall, but an open space within a shared home. Thus, holding hands, eating from the same plate, sitting close, none of these are violations of distance, but gestures of friendship. Ironically, such closeness fosters a safer society. In a culture where male friends can hold hands without fear of judgment, toxic masculinity and rigid gender stereotypes have less room to grow. A man can show sadness, tenderness, or longing without being called unmanly. In today's world, that is a rare form of freedom. Yet, when it comes to male-female relationships, the rules reverse entirely. In many regions, public displays of affection, kissing, hugging, even hand-holding, are seen as disrespectful to cultural values. What Westerners call romantic love is considered something to be expressed in private after serious commitment. The belief is simple. The more discreet the affection, the deeper it endures. Modesty itself is an act of respect. At weddings, you will seldom see the bride and groom kiss. Instead, they touch foreheads lightly, a gesture of spiritual union, not physical pleasure. Perhaps that is why, in Nepali culture, love is rarely described in passionate words, but through quiet imagery. A lamp burning together, or two people sharing one blanket through the long winter. Western observers once labeled this conservatism, but look closer and you'll see. In Nepal, morality does not suppress emotion, it guides how to feel. When society emphasizes respect, people learn to observe their emotions more carefully rather than letting them overflow. This mindfulness keeps communities from dissolving into ego. A Nepali sociologist once told me, "We don't teach our children don't love, we teach them love properly." That proper way is not static. In cities, younger generations are softening the old boundaries. Couples now hold hands in cafes, post photos online, and speak openly about relationships. Yet they still avoid such gestures at temples or festivals, spaces belonging to the sacred, not the personal. The shift happens quietly, without rebellion, like a new stream finding its path through old stone, not breaking it, but reshaping it. Behind these seemingly backward rules lies a profound truth. Every culture has its own reasoning for how affection is shown. If in the West, love is a story of two people against the world, then in Nepal, love is two people learning to live with the world. A humble philosophy, slow, grounded, yet astonishingly resilient. As night falls over Kathmandu, I once saw two middle-aged men sitting on a porch, sipping tea, laughing at old memories. Between them, there was no distance, only friendship. Nearby, an elderly couple walked slowly, keeping one step apart. Yet their eyes met with warmth that needed no touch. Both scenes, though different in space, shared the same essence: connection. Perhaps it is precisely these illogical social codes that have helped Nepal preserve what the modern world is losing: the balance between emotion and restraint, freedom and respect. In an age so loud with self-assertion, maybe we too need to relearn the art of quiet, to love as the Nepalis do with our eyes and our presence. Number 7. The 84-dish feast, when food becomes a ritual of hospitality. If there is anywhere in the world where eating is a religious act, it is Nepal. In the Kathmandu Valley, when a Newar wedding takes place, no one asks how old the couple is or how many guests will attend. They only ask, have they prepared all 84 dishes yet? 84 dishes may sound exaggerated, but it is a real tradition known as Bara Bhoye. It is not just a feast, but a sacred reenactment of the universe itself, each dish symbolizing one element of existence: earth, water, wind, fire, and spirit. Nepalis believe that when two people begin a married life together, they must be blessed with the full flavor of the world, so that their life will contain saltiness, sweetness, spiciness, and bitterness, just like the meal itself. For 3 days, the entire village joins in the preparation. From grandmothers to toddlers, everyone has a task. One washes rice, another chops vegetables, another roasts meat, another stirs lentil soup. The rhythmic pounding of spices fills the air. The scent of fried onions mingles with wood smoke. There are no written recipes, only instructions passed down orally. A handful of salt like a grandmother's palm, a pinch of pepper like a mountaineer's sweat. Each household cooks a portion, and together they combine it into one grand communal meal. The whole community eats as one vast family. The feast begins with bat, plain white rice symbolizing purity. Then comes dal, black lentil soup representing endurance. Next, buffalo meat simmered with pepper, turmeric, and ginger, the dish of strength. Stir-fried mustard greens, the dish of balance. And yomari, a rice dough dumpling filled with molasses, the dish of joy. Each food is not merely for eating, but for remembrance of the philosophy that says, we eat to know who we are. We eat to remember where we belong. If you attend a Nuar wedding, the atmosphere feels utterly unlike any European celebration. There are no imported flowers, no fine wines, only old brass plates piled high and honest smiles. Each guest is served by hand, and after the meal, everyone gathers by the outdoor basin to wash hands, talk, and share stories. In Nepal, eating together is an act of equality. When everyone's hands are oily and everyone sits on the ground, social rank disappears. But the real essence lies not in the food itself, but in the attitude toward eating. Nepalis do not eat quickly to be done. They eat slowly to live. They believe flavor is the soul of time. The more effort and collaboration a dish requires, the more communal spirit it carries. A meal like this nourishes not just the body, but the heart. In the West, people say, cuisine is an art. In Nepal, they say, cuisine is kindness made edible. Rich or poor, Nepalis uphold the same ritual of hospitality. Eat, please. Don't be shy. If you are full, my house is blessed. A mother in Bhaktapur said this as she added rice to my bowl. She did not ask where I came from or whether I could pay. In her eyes, feeding me was an act of worship, like lighting incense or offering flowers. In that moment, I understood why hospitality in Nepal is considered a religion. Nepali cuisine flows through two intertwined streams, Hindu and Buddhist, existing side by side. On the same table, you may find both sattvic, pure vegetarian, and masu, sacred meat dishes. The vegetarian does not judge the meat eater, and the meat eater does not mock the vegetarian. Nepal's subtle grace lies in this harmony. No extremes, no arguments. Here, people believe that Lord Buddha and Lord Shiva can share a meal together, as long as the cook's heart is full of compassion. When you taste a freshly steamed yomari, a teardrop-shaped dumpling made of rice flour filled with molasses and sesame, you can feel as though the Himalayas themselves are melting in your mouth. Sweet but not cloying, warm but not heavy. It is not just a flavor, it is a memory needed by generations and wrapped in love. Today, for tourists, the 84-dish feast has become a spectacle of culture. But for Nepalis, it remains sacred. Each feast connects past and present, grandparents and grandchildren, the ones who left with the ones who stayed. In a world growing colder and more divided, they still sit together in circles, eating, talking, and sharing the last grain of rice. A culinary scholar once wrote, "In Nepal, people don't teach their children how to cook. They teach them how to give." Perhaps that is why Nepali feasts never truly end. After the guests leave, the cooks remain, sharing leftovers, laughing under the oil lamps. And in the rising kitchen smoke, something stirs inside you. The quiet wish to linger a little longer, realizing that sometimes half a bowl of shared rice can warm the soul more deeply than 100 prayers. Number 8. The sacred citizens, when cows become symbols of holiness. Along the road from Durbar Square to Bhaktapur, you'll often witness a scene so ordinary that it quietly captures the soul of Nepal. Amid honking motorbikes and the hum of traffic, a cow wanders slowly across the street. No one shouts, no one drives her away. People simply wait, patiently, respectfully, as if letting an elder cross the road. In Nepal, the cow is not just an animal, it is a special citizen, honored, protected, and even shielded by law. In Hindu belief, the cow embodies the goddess Lakshmi, the deity of wealth, abundance, and compassion. The image of the cow, feeding humans with her milk, working the fields, gentle and enduring, has become the moral symbol of virtue. As such, killing a cow in Nepal is considered a grave sin. The law explicitly states that anyone who kills a cow may face up to 12 years in prison. This makes Nepal one of the few nations on Earth where protecting cows is literally a civic duty. Some may ask, why such extremity? The answer lies deep within the spiritual layers of Nepali life. To Nepalis, all beings possess spirit, animals included. The cow is not merely a provider of milk, but a manifestation of patience, gentleness, and unconditional giving. When people offer milk, butter, or ghee upon the altar, they are not merely presenting food. They are expressing gratitude to their second mother, Gau Mata, the mother cow. Those who have attended the Gai Jatra, the festival of the cow, will understand how deeply this belief runs. The celebration takes place in summer, under clear skies and ripened rice fields. On that day, entire towns become rivers of processions, cows adorned with red garlands, their foreheads smeared with turmeric, silver bells clinking at their necks. Children dressed as calves dance and sing through the streets. The people believe the cow leads the souls of the deceased across the river between life and death, guiding them toward peace. Yet the most remarkable thing about Gai Jatra is how Nepal transforms religion into a social event. During the festival, people both mourn and laugh, honor the dead and mock the living. Satirical plays poke fun at politicians. Newspapers print jokes about officials, because on the cow's day, all power must bow its head. The cow, a symbol of meekness, also becomes a symbol of freedom of expression. A beautiful paradox, gentle yet strong. In rural Nepal, cows are present in every rite of passage. When a child is born, cow's milk is used for the first bath, a prayer for health. When the elderly pass away, a cow is tied near the bedside to serve as a guide for the departing soul. Even in weddings, the groom may have to face a cow before entering the ceremony. If the animal stays calm, it foretells a peaceful marriage. However, this reverence also brings challenges. In Kathmandu, the number of stray cows has surged as families release them. When they can no longer afford to feed them, many wander hungry, chewing on plastic waste amid traffic. The government has created rescue teams and even opened retirement homes for cows in the outskirts of Lalitpur, sanctuaries where hundreds of cows receive care, medicine, and eventually cremation. One caretaker told me, "We don't call it a farm, it's a gaushala, a home for compassion." The issue, in truth, is not faith itself, but how devotion is managed. When a sacred symbol grows too large, people sometimes forget its practical meaning. To respect the cow is not merely to forbid killing it, but to ensure it does not die slowly in garbage and concrete. Nepal is learning this lesson, that faith must walk hand in hand with responsibility. Seen more broadly, this is not only the story of a cow, it is a philosophy of humanity's relationship with nature. In the West, people protect the environment through laws and campaigns. In Nepal, they revere nature through rituals and symbols. A cow crossing the main street is a living metaphor for that worldview. Every creature has the right to exist, even in the middle of a modern city. What makes Nepal extraordinary is not merely that it considers cows sacred, but that it has turned gentleness into governance. A society where compassion is written into law, however imperfectly, is still a rare and noble experiment. In an age when humanity is quicker to rage than to listen, faster to destroy than to preserve, Nepal reminds us, sometimes, to move forward, humankind must learn again to walk as the cow does, slowly, kindly, but with unshakable steadiness. And perhaps it is precisely this slowness that allows Nepal to keep what so many nations have lost: the ability to pause, to bow its head, even before a humble life. Because the smallest act of respect today may yet preserve the kindness of tomorrow. Number 9. The Superhumans of the Himalayas, the Sherpa, and the legacy of endurance. At 8,000 meters above sea level, where air is so thin that each breath feels borrowed, there are men who walk calmly as if gravity has forgotten them. They are not elite athletes, nor million-dollar explorers sponsored by corporations. They are the Sherpa, a people born at an altitude where the world stops, but they keep walking. Sherpa is more than an occupation. It is an inherited identity of endurance and devotion. They live mainly in Solukhumbu, eastern Nepal, where the Himalayas rise straight into the sky. Winters plunge to 25 degrees C. Winds are fierce enough to topple grown men, and oxygen drops to 60% of sea level concentration. Yet in that brutal landscape, villages cling to mountain slopes, houses are stacked in stone, and prayer flags whip furiously against the snow-laden air. The Sherpa body itself tells the story of adaptation. Scientific studies reveal they possess a unique gene variant, EPAS1, which enables their blood to absorb oxygen far more efficiently. Their hearts beat slower but stronger. Their lungs are larger, their blood vessels more elastic. For ordinary humans, 5,000 meters is a threshold of suffering. For the Sherpa, it is their backyard. Yet their greatness lies not in biology, but in spirit. Since the early 20th century, when Western expeditions began their conquest of Everest, the Sherpa have been the soul of those journeys. They carry hundreds of kilograms of gear: tents, oxygen tanks, food, ropes, steel spikes. They lead the way, fix the lines, test crevasses, and are often the last to leave the mountain once everyone else has returned safely. Among climbers, there is an unspoken saying: if you survived Everest, thank a Sherpa. In conditions where wind can tear skin, and one misstep means death. They still smile. When asked what makes them fearless, an old Sherpa from Namche Bazaar replied simply, "We are born from the mountains. When we die, we return to them." It was not poetry, it was biology and faith, fused into one truth. Yet behind the romance of conquest lies silent tragedy. Many Sherpas have died in avalanches, crevasse falls, or exhaustion while saving their clients. When disaster strikes, the world remembers the names of foreign climbers, while the Sherpa names appear only briefly, if at all. They are the unnamed heroes of the Himalayas, the ones who do the impossible so that others may be called great. For decades, their pay was meager, a few thousand US$ for risks measured in lives. But in recent years, awareness has begun to change. International climbing organizations now list Sherpas as official expedition members, and some are recognized as living legends. Names like Appa Sherpa, who summited Everest 21 times, and Kami Rita Sherpa, who broke records with 30 ascents, have become national icons. Yet when asked what makes them proud, they rarely mention their records. They say, "I brought everyone down safely." That single sentence defines the Sherpa spirit. Glory does not rest on the summit, but in responsibility. They do not see the mountain as an adversary, but as a teacher. In Sherpa philosophy, the word conquer does not exist. The mountain needs no conquest, only listening. Every gust of wind, every cracking glacier is a message. Those who listen, live. In Sherpa villages, children grow up between two worlds, the world of meditation and the world of snow. They learn Buddhist chants at 7, climb hills at 10, and are taught that the breath is the most precious thing a human owns. Before every journey, a Sherpa performs a simple ritual. Hand over heart, eyes closed, a deep inhale, then softly reciting Om Mani Padme Hum, a prayer not for victory, but for peace. I once asked a young Sherpa if he wanted to move to the city. He laughed. "The city has too much oxygen. It makes me dizzy." It wasn't just a joke. It was his way of saying that freedom isn't found in bigger spaces, but where the heart feels at home. The Sherpa live with little, but they live deeply. They lack material wealth, yet possess what the modern world is desperately seeking: presence in every breath. Today, many young Sherpas have become guides, mountaineers, and environmental activists. They teach trekkers how to respect the mountains, how to pack out their waste, how to step without scarring the ice. They preserve not only the traditions of their ancestors, but also bring those values into the global age. We climb not to prove how great we are, but to remember how small we are. And perhaps it is because of people like them that Everest, a place where life should not exist, still retains its sacred stillness. The Sherpa are living proof that humans can be strong without being harsh, humble yet magnificent. They do not live on the mountain, they live with it. And in every breath they take, the Himalayas continue to sing. Number 10. When mountains keep their secrets, Machapuchare, the 15-minute time difference, and the art of living slowly. If there is a place on Earth where nature still reserves the right to say no to humankind, it is Machapuchare, the Fishtail Mountain, rising nearly 7,000 meters high, gleaming like a silver blade above the misty valley of Pokhara. Beneath it, the Seti River winds like a ribbon of white silk. Beyond it, the Himalayas fold into one another like creases in the sky. Each morning, when the first sunlight strikes, Machapuchare ignites like a spear of fire, so radiant that one almost forgets. No human being has ever set foot on its summit. Not because none have dared. In 1957, 2 British climbers received permission from the Nepali government to attempt Machapuchare. They climbed close, within 150 meters of the peak, and then stopped. "We couldn't go on," they said. "At that point we felt we were no longer allowed." Since then, Nepal has placed a permanent ban on summiting Machapuchare. The government's statement was simple. "This mountain is the home of Lord Shiva. It does not need to be conquered to be great." The world calls this illogical. But to the Nepalis, it is an act of reverence, the humility of knowing when to stop. In an era where everything must be explored, conquered, or owned, preserving an untouched peak is a radical, almost rebellious gesture of humility. It sends a clear message. Not every height is meant to be reached. Some exist only to be gazed at and respected in silence. From a philosophical view, Machapuchare stands as nature's reminder that there are still limits worth honoring, still sacred things that require no proof. In its shadow, thousands of Nepalis live, work, and pray, understanding that true value does not lie in reaching the top, but in knowing where to stop. And that lesson extends to how Nepal treats time itself. While the world organizes itself neatly by time zones, GMT +5, +6, or +7, Nepal chose GMT +5, 45. Yes, 45 minutes off from every neighbor. No one required this. It was a self-declaration of identity. We do not need to match anyone else's clock. When asked why they didn't round it to an even hour, a professor in Kathmandu once joked, "Because the sun rises a little differently here. We just follow the sun." Beneath the humor lies a beautiful metaphor. Nepal refuses to race against the world's clock. It moves at the rhythm of its own heart. In the mountain villages, time is measured not by watches but by light. Morning begins when the birds sing, noon arrives when the shadows tilt, and evening falls when the smoke from cooking fires drifts into the fog. Villagers say, "Our time is the sun's time. When light is given, we work. When it fades, we rest." Here, clocks are not masters. They are merely suggestions. It may sound slow, but in that slowness lives a freedom the modern world has lost. Without meetings to rush to, without screens demanding attention, people can truly look at one another and smile. When they stop trying to fill every minute, life flows naturally, like clouds drifting between peaks. I once stayed in a small village near Pokhara. There were no phones, no Wi-Fi. Each morning the elders drank ginger tea. Children played with river stones. Women washed clothes by the stream. Everyone somehow knew the time, without needing to ask. One old man told me, "In the city, time chases people. Here, we walk ahead of time." I didn't understand at first. But that evening, as the sun sank behind the mountains and the kitchen smoke curled lazily through the air, I realized he was right. Time in Nepal is not a stream that carries you away. It is a breath that expands and contracts, leaving space for presence. Perhaps that is why Nepalis rarely seem rushed. Even when traffic stalls or lines stretch long, they smile, fold their hands in greeting, or offer each other tea. In this land, being on time does not mean arriving early, it means arriving peacefully. From Machapuchare's sacred silence to the 15-minute time shift, from forbidding the climb of holy peaks to ignoring the tyranny of the clock, Nepal offers the world a quiet lesson. Not everything needs to move fast. Some forms of beauty only bloom in stillness. And perhaps it is because of this slow rhythm that Nepalis still retain the rare art of joyful living. When spring arrives, they celebrate Holi, throwing colored powders into the sky, turning the streets into living rainbows. When the wind season begins, they launch hot air balloons over Pokhara, painting the snowy valley with drifting color. During those days, no one speaks of poverty or dust or hardship. They laugh, sing, and paint one another's faces, transforming the ordinary into joy. Those who have experienced Holi in Nepal say that for one moment, all boundaries dissolve. Rich and poor, male and female, high caste and low, when everyone is covered in the same red dust, you no longer know who is who. All are simply human, simple, equal, alive. Perhaps that is the Buddha nature Nepalis have preserved in daily life, equality through joy. As night falls over Pokhara, the last balloons descend, and holy powder sparkles faintly on the clothes of the young. Far away, the silent summit of Machapuchare glows in the moonlight, smiling down as if in quiet approval. There is no need for conquest, no need to measure time, no need to prove anything, only the grace of being present. And perhaps that is the essence of Nepal itself. A nation that lives with nature, not against it, that respects time without being consumed by it, that finds happiness not in height, but in harmony. It is a land that teaches us that sometimes the greatest triumph is not to climb higher, but to bow lower, to pause, to breathe, just as the Sherpas do before every journey. Nepal is neither paradise nor hell. It is a mirror reflecting the deepest contradictions within us, both sacred and worldly, both strong and fragile, both ancient and modern. Yet within those contradictions, Nepal has found harmony, like the rhythm of breath, in and out, birth and decay. From the cremation ghats along the Bagmati River to the sacred peaks forbidden to climb. From women cast out of their homes on cold nights to the little girl Kumari revered as a living goddess. all tell the same story. Nepal is where humanity learns to exist between two worlds, the world of the body and the world of belief. And perhaps that is why this small nation has become such a profound teacher for humankind, proving that progress does not have to mean losing one's soul, that modernization need not crush tradition, that faith and science can coexist without rivalry. Nepal survives and thrives by moving slowly, by observing carefully, by discerning what to keep and what to let go. We, the ones living in cities, surrounded by schedules and deadlines, might smirk at a time zone offset by 15 minutes, or at a people who stop at the foot of a mountain out of reverence for the gods. Yet perhaps it is precisely because we never stop that we are exhausted. Perhaps Machapuchare, the mountain no one has ever climbed, is a metaphor for what we have forgotten: the respect for limits. Not limits that restrain us, but those that preserve what is sacred in the world. And when you leave Nepal, what lingers in you will not be the sight of majestic peaks, but the way people live among them, slowly, kindly, peacefully. You will remember the temple bells at dawn, the scent of wood smoke, the smile of a woman carrying vegetables up the hill, the calm gaze of a Sherpa looking toward the sky. Perhaps that is Nepal's quiet invitation to the world. Breathe slower, look around, live. And it is also the message from Fascinating Discoveries to you, the one watching this video. Never stop exploring. Not just the distant lands beyond your reach, but the inner landscapes within your own soul. Within your limits, within the sacredness you may have forgotten. If today's journey touched something in your heart, share this video so more people can witness a Nepal both harsh and gentle, fierce, yet full of grace. And don't forget to subscribe to join Fascinating Discoveries on future journeys, where we won't just tell stories about the world, but discover ourselves within the breath of the earth. Thank you for walking this path with us. May your day be peaceful, and perhaps tonight in your dreams, you'll hear the Himalayas softly calling your name. Goodbye, and see you again in the next land of wonders.